How's it going? I'm akaBoG. Got Captain 1701 here with me. Well, he's actually not with me. He's on the bridge of the Enterprise, clearly.
The good Enterprise.
The good one?
The best Enterprise, in my opinion.
I love it already. We're off to a great start here. So, just kind of an update. What are we doing? It's Star Trek Picard discussion time.
Season 2, Episode 1.
We just watched it. Yeah.
Live reaction.
Was it called Stargazer?
Yeah, this title was the
I didn't even
Star-
see it.
Yeah, the original title was
I'm glad
the
somebody was
Stargazer.
paying attention. I like that. I like. All right, I'll say I like the new Stargazer design.
It was a
Very
cool,
much. I liked
cool
it.
design.
It was a nice update, and I look forward to getting that ship from Eagle Moss very much.
And then, jumping ahead, since we're on the Stargazer, let's talk about kind of the ship in general, because it's kind of we get introduced to it. Right
I know it's a random way to start this, but hey,
but like
freeform discussion.
7 and 9 says that it's built from Borg technology from the reclaimed Borg cube from the last season. So,
Which that's what they did in the JJ Trek movies, right?
yeah,
That's why the technology, which a lot of people are like, oh, the technology doesn't make sense. And they actually did try and explain it in the JJ movies by saying they all got Borg technology basically, or scans of it, and it kind of like goofed up the timeline, and that was okay. I like that aspect of that series, but we're not here to talk JJ movies. We're here to talk JJ style shaky cam. And we get about 5 minutes right at the start.
Yeah, it starts out with a bang. Kind of you don't know what's happening. Feels like a flashback or flash forward, which it turned out to be.
We did. Yeah, we were speculating exactly what it was, and it was definitely what we thought it was.
First, I thought it was a.
Oh, by the way, spoilers. We're gonna talk spoilers. We just watched the episode.
Right.
It's not obvious at this point. We're not gonna tread around spoilers. So sorry.
I was gonna say it starts out with a bang. Picard's kind of it shows it's a bunch of random officers and personnel just getting blown up in corridors and
lots of shots and everyone's getting zapped. It's like, oh no, everyone's gonna die type Star Trek stuff. We've seen that before too. That's fine.
No red shirts got it that I could see.
Were there any red shirts at all?
I mean, until you get to the
well, there was
bridge.
Rios, yeah, but he wasn't in the opening scene at all, was he?
Yeah, because then they
you didn't know what ship it was.
Picard, and then it kind of opens up.
Picard was like the only one. Did we see Rios? I guess we did. Yeah, we saw
Girardi,
Rios. Yeah, 7. Yeah,
7, 9.
Yeah. Okay. I like the bridge of the Stargazer ship. I really did like the open design, and I like all the cool panels and lights, and I dug it. I was digging it. I did not like the slick feel of the floors. I felt like I'd be sliding around,
And it was different because, in some of the other starships in the newer series, they have all the holographic kind of interfaces. And this one was a classic LCARS interface.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I like that. Wasn't even thinking about I much prefer just the class. It's clean. It's look. It's. Everyone's like, oh, we gotta go more modern. How do you go more modern than just absolutely clean and sleek and touchscreen? I mean, all holograms, I guess. But I guess part of that maybe that was we were seeing with Picard season 1, the La Sharina. Maybe that still has. Although we did see 7 on there, I don't really.
Or each ship maybe has its own interface, because she in essence has Rio's ship because he was kind of, and then it jumps to everyone's what happened after the
it gives you a
season.
recap of oh hey, this guy died.
Feels
Picard's trying to hook up with his ex.
That
I'll jump to that right now because that was my least favorite thing of the entire episode. Why was it there? I don't know.
It was super weird.
It was so weird, and you could see it coming from a mile away. It was telegraphed and awkward,
and I'm like, okay, Picard's almost 100 years old.
They said he's over 100. They said he's been alone for more than a century at one point.
Close to a century. Guinan says that.
I think she said more than.
Either way. Well, I mean, he's a robot now, so.
And in Star Trek, they live quite long.
But, and I don't know what the Romulan age thing is, but as a human, I can't wrap my mind around a 90-year-old Picard, 400-year-old Picard, hooking up with what looks to be a mid-50s, 60-year-old woman, 40 years. Like,
she's pretty good looking for, like, you know, an older Romulan woman, I guess.
It's just a weird. It was a weird. It was a weird story
setup.
To tell.
And, like, why did they have to kill the guy off?
I don't know.
You and I said it has to be so the actor was unavailable. Even then, they could have just had him not be in that part of the house.
Right.
I mean, it seems weird that they would just kill him off.
Well, like, how did he die?
He's been dead for a year and a half.
Did he just die?
So I guess it's been quite a while. Like, did he die immediately after Picard season 1? Or has it been like 3 years?
But then what did he die of?
I don't know. It's the future.
Of natural causes? I mean...
but if he died of natural causes, like, why isn't his... I mean, I guess, was it another old guy with a young chick
heart
thing?
Attack?
Is that common for, like, Romulan ladies or something? I don't know.
But, like, apparently those two have been living on Chateau Picard forever.
Because it's been 18 months of them being awkward and trying to romance it, and then Picard dropping the balls super hard when he's, like, giving the gate. Which is okay, I've done that personally before, too. I've been like, hey, you sure you don't want to come sleep up over here? And like, no, I'll stay right where I'm at. And it's like, wait a second. Don't. Yeah.
It was just a weird, like, the Picard, like, lovesick kind of trope. This episode seemed out of place.
Yeah.
Unless they revisit it at some point, which I'm sure they will. But for the first episode of a new season, for them to kind of focus on that heavily for the first quarter of the new episode.
It was like like I told you earlier. I thought it was like they were like, well, we have to pad it out. And all right, so months ago when we first saw the preview, I think I told this guy. I think I looked at him and I think I said, looks like there's an awful lot of shots on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And jumping ahead to the end where it shows this season on Picard, man, there's a lot of action scenes on Earth. And guess what? We're back to, should we go to the mirror universe again? And at first I was like, I can't believe we're in the mirror universe again. But then we both realized, too, we've actually never seen Next Generation mirror universe on screen, so that's kind of cool. Right? I'm okay with it. I'm gonna use my vape pen on camera. I don't care because Rio is allowed to smoke on the bridge.
Yeah,
Rio can smoke a cigar on the bridge. I'm gonna smoke a vape pen on my broadcast.
Of a Federation.
I've got a more futuristic smoke than Rio does.
Although, I mean,
I like the cigar. I was impressed. I told you too. I like Rio. And I like that he smokes. It's just so, like, not in fit line with, like, the Federation. Like, it would be like if he was sitting there within his mouth, and he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go to my ready room. And then someone walks in his ready room, and he's, like, sitting there smoking. He's like, computer, clear air.
Yeah.
Or clear compartment. And it's, bzz, you know what I mean? Bzz, just, you know, because, like, even, like, current, and like I told you, current day, it's not socially acceptable for you to smoke around your coworkers. If it was, I would be, like, probably smoking cigarettes in my office all day long. And if someone walked in, it would be like, just like a billow out. And they'd have to, like, deal with it. And that's completely, totally, and has been for my entire life, socially unacceptable in every way. If you want to smoke a cigarette, especially if you want to smoke a cigar, you got to go outside. Or maybe if you're like a fancy dude with a rich house, maybe you got a smoking room. But, you know, you don't just like, you definitely don't just walk around your coworkers in the office smoking cigars, for Christ's sake. And so he was sitting there and you were like, does he have a cigar? And I was like, I saw it and I just like wasn't even like it wasn't even like clicking with me because it's not something you expect to see in Star Trek. And
it was kind of,
and so I thought he was just doing the dry cigar thing, like and I was like, well, you know,
and
but then he lights it up.
Yeah,
I'm like, and like it shows him. I was like, dude, Rio's kind of an asshole cigar smoker.
But you had like the Bajorans and the Trills and stuff on the deck. Like,
Yeah.
what if they can't?
I like seeing actual aliens in Star Trek. That's nice. We have a lot of aliens we can pull from. Thank you.
I was saying too, what if Bajorans and Trill can't, handle cigar smoke? I just
The
thought
Trill sitting there, spots start getting all weird and splotchy, dude.
I just thought that was strange. I liked it. I thought it was.
I liked it too.
It was a badass moment.
Smoke,
but it was kind of a strange.
It was really strange for Star Trek.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I like Rios. I like Rios smoke
Seems
cigars
like
on the bridge. But did he smoke cigars on his ship last season?
Oh yeah, constantly.
Okay, so that's fine. But it's really weird. Like, if it was me doing it, and but I didn't even remember he smoked cigars, you know what I'm saying? But it was his ship, so who cared? It didn't even matter last season. It wasn't even a thought like, this is weird. It's like, oh, he's smoking cigars in the future. Okay. What's her name had the vape pen, right? The Starfleet, ex-Starfleet chick, right? And so, but so on a Starfleet ship, it seems like just out of common courtesy for your fellow officer, you would at least keep that shit to your quarters.
Or like a holodeck. It sounds like a...
Yeah!
Go like holodeck.
Or like I said, the ready room. Go off to the ready room and have a scene where someone walks in and he's sitting there and he has to like clear the cabin. Oh, sorry. Here, let me clear the cabin real quick. And someone goes, "Oh, sorry," because I'm, as a smoker, I don't want to go smoke around non-smokers and blow smoke in their face. I'm not an asshole, for Christ's sake. It seems like such an asshole move. I'm sorry.
I agree, but it was cool.
It was cool.
It had kind of a Civil War general.
That's the kind of cool Star Trek that I'm okay with. Is characters smoking on the bridge. I'm okay with that. That's cool Star Trek.
Also, another cool thing. You mentioned this, and I wrote down the line that you said, that they threw an Akira class just for you.
You saw how I reacted. I was like really salty and really grumpy, and I was just complaining and whining about every little thing I could. I was like, I don't like the badges. I don't like the pinstripe on her uniform. I don't like that we're on Earth still. I don't like Picard's hitting
Akira class.
And then there was like an explosion. I'm like, it's an Akira class? And I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And then I think what did I say? I told you they put that there for me.
I think they heard you.
I love the Akira.
And I think overall, the aesthetic of this season...
That made me a lot happier.
the
ships, yeah.
They look cool. And I wanted to mention, I thought the shot of Starfleet's headquarters and the Academy was really cool.
Yeah, you said that. It was really nice. We've had the map paintings that were kind of cool, but it's always the same map painting.
Yeah.
And the more modern Star Trek, it's kind of been like obscured or really far away, and you don't really see what's up. But you got a really nice view, and it did look really cool. I like that.
And the cityscapes.
Yeah.
Because when Picard...
I like the walk-through teleporters. I think I told you specifically, I thought the teleporter effect was really nice and well done. It's like clean. It's exactly what you want from a beaming effect. Very nice, quick, right speed. I like the beaming effect a lot.
It also shows kind of the... like those doors, where they walk through?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the walk-through teleporters. I like those.
It's progression of technology.
I was going to say that totally makes sense because they've had the teleporter gates where they would walk in and then would beam them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if it's just point-to-point and stuff like that, and they could even be like, they could hit their badge in theory and be like, hey, yo, I'm going to this destination. And then you don't even need to tell any. The gates are just like, oh, badge tells you here, you go there. So that was cool, and that's the kind of like technology progression I like from Star Trek, because it's totally in line. It's not breaking any rules or anything that we've seen, and it's not like Scotty being like, "Yeah, I'll beam you to Kronos from here, baby," and you're like,
"All right,
what?" And he's like, "Transwarp beaming, baby." Yeah, and you're like, "This is dumb." That's breaking everything. You know what I mean? I don't care what you're like, oh, I got future equation from Scotty, and Scotty never figured out how to beam nobody to freaking kid to Kronos from the starship from the Alpha Quadrant. God damn it, that never happened.
I thought too, one of the other cool aspects of this was the kind of the intros of all the main characters. Like the first time we saw 7 of 9, she just like kicks ass.
I do believe what did I call her opponents? Mad Max in space. Yeah. Which is they're like, what kind of aliens do we have for bad guys? They're like, for space pirates. They're like, give them those old Max costumes from Fury Road we have hanging around.
She spears that guy through the
off the roof,
rail,
the catwalk,
and then just like tackles her onto the box. Just totally knocks her out.
What's the Picard's old commander? The chick. What's her name? She was the drugged out one in season 1.
I can't remember her name.
All right, I don't remember her name either. I don't care. I don't know any of these characters' names. I like Rios, and I hate Geordi enough to know her name. Girardi is to get her name kind of close. I know it's kind of like Geordi, but I hate it, so it's Geordi.
She had the worst moments of this episode.
She has the worst moments of everything.
If she's if she's acting as a diplomat with the android, and she's just like drunk at the bar, and then shows up on the
totally
bridge
unprofessional
of the Stargazer, drunk, and then
you would have think she would have like gone and like sobered up, because they've shown too in Star Trek they can like get a hypo that like takes care of shit real quick.
And then not only that, she egregiously like
bosses people,
tramps through the bridge like
under this,
and like pushes a lieutenant who is manning a station
out of the way
to like, oh, I can figure this out. And Captain Rios doesn't do shit.
Rios is like the worst Starfleet captain ever.
Oh my god.
I love Rios, but he is like, he's like all disheveled too, and he's smoking cigars and he's bringing drunk people on the bridge.
You think Sisko...
And he was trying to like be like a little, but dude, he's the worst.
Sisko or Kirk would never let that fly.
Rios is like a lower deck level captain, I guess.
But like, if you're that, I think she was Bajoran actually, the communications officer, just gets shoved out of the way by some.
I like the aliens and the effects that we saw and stuff. Yeah,
but she's great. Like, I would say, you know what? This is my Starfleet training, thanks, but no thanks. Go sit in your chair. You're not even an officer. Like, this is ridiculous. I'd be so pissed.
Yeah.
I think Girardi is just the worst character in the show, in my opinion. I mean, she basically...
The worst.
They got away with murder.
She did get away.
And then she just
brushes it off in comments. I was exonerated for murder because I was like temporarily insane or something.
She didn't even say exonerated. She said I was cleared of it. Like,
cleared. And like, even though she clearly murdered him, and you know, I mean, and she like is
kind of somewhat brutally, if you remember.
Yeah, dude. I don't like her at all.
I don't.
Why is she on this crew? It would have been so easy to like replace her. And then it would have been in tradition too of TNG with like replacing Crush with Pulaski. That's what they should have done. They should have brought Pulaski back, and Picard would.
Then that would make sense with the aged like love story.
Dude, oh my god! So that's probably the worst idea I'm ever going to suggest for Star Trek is bring Pulaski back.
But then, not only does Girardi, I thought she was an android expert, and then all of a sudden she's like some weird linguistic expert as well. They can like boss around the communications
Rios needs her
officer.
Brain.
But just
that's the line. It explains it, Tom.
She needs her brain.
Rios needs her brain.
But there's nothing in the previous season or this
season. She
season.
heard it in the single. Picard, we help us, Picard.
But there's no like build up to her also knowing alien linguistics.
Does every Star Trek show have to be about the Borg anymore?
I think it does. I mean the Borg Queen. What do you?
Even when it's not the Borg, like Discovery.
Borg adjacent.
Which are like the wannabe Borgs. Borg the weird AI Borg. The precursor Borgs.
What do you think of the Queen? The new Queen?
I hated it. It felt like Doctor Who to me. I thought I was watching Doctor Who, especially when her tentacles started shooting out. I'm sorry, and I kind of hate Doctor Who. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I like old Doctor Who. I grew up watching like classic Doctor Who in the 80s with my dad, and I like that, but I don't like the new Doctor Who. I liked Water and Mars. That was good.
Anyway, this is Picard.
But
But yeah, it was bizarre.
I was watching it, and I felt like I was watching an episode of the modern BBC Doctor Who.
Oh, I see what you mean.
With her, and the creature effects too is just like a black suit. I thought that was kind of lazy, I guess. I mean, whatever. There's got to be a reason. It's going to be his mom. She said, "Look at the stars," and it's a time-displaced version. And they went and they assimilated his mom.
Isn't that what they
and
freaking
it's supposed
did?
to be a shock or something. With, you know what I mean? It's the Red Angel kind of thing with Burnham and her mom, right? That's why I'm feeling about. Why not show the face? Why have her be like, "Look to the stars, Picard"?
I thought the Borg were supposed to be...
Why introduce Picard's mom and give Picard an origin story? We haven't even talked about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I hate Picard having a new origin story that's like retcons, like a dramatic, like backstory of like an abusive family upbringing or some
95
shit.
years later. What's the point?
He's like 95 and he has... Dude, I've come to terms with my childhood at the ripe old age of 39. Like, and let me tell you, I've got some stories that, like, like, I'm just like, man, I could say some things and people would just be like, shake their heads. And you know what? I've made peace with my entire upbringing to this date. And I know who I am as a person. I'm not at 90 still trying to figure this shit out. But maybe it's because he's really only 2 years old and he's a robot. Mm-hmm. And he's not really a real boy anymore.
That was the only good Girardi moment of the thing where she said, absolutely, you look absolutely positronic.
It made me mad that the one character who said something I really liked and finally pointed out is the worst character in the entire history of Star Trek, probably.
So, we mentioned
the heroic murderer.
We mentioned it before, but it looks like we're going to the mirror universe.
All right. Right off the bat, I kind of like his leather jacket, but I also kind of don't like how it sits up. But it does feel like Imperial. I kind of like the costuming. And you figured it out you were like...
Immediately the
because
badge
we were
changed.
talking shit about the badges earlier, and it's almost
they
probably...
made a point of it.
I would say the way they were shooting it and everything, that's why we noticed it, and I was like, I hate the new badges. They're too much is happening.
Remember when the Admiral just like hands it to him, and they like do that 10-second thing of him holding it and like looking at it.
It's too much.
And you're like, this has to mean something.
But you totally caught it because as soon as he was there, you're like, he's got a different badge, and then you're like, oh, it's the Mirror Universe, and it's like, oh my god. And my first reaction was, I don't need more Mirror Universe. And then I think I made the quip like, haha, well, you always have to have a Mirror Universe episode every season. That became tradition with DS9, and then Voyager did it, and Enterprise did an episode, you know what I mean? And then that made me go, we never actually did have a TNG Mirror episode.
Now we're getting
and of course, the problem is we basically only get one episode a season now. We don't have different stories. It's just one story, which I also like in-depth storytelling like that. And I've actually been a proponent of Star Trek going to long-form storytelling for a long time. I like the season-long story. But the problem I have with it is when you do the Mirror Universe in every show and for entire seasons. Like we did it in Discovery not long ago, and I don't need another Mirror Universe. Whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know. The truth is, I actually really did like the episode a lot more than I expected to. As much as I'm grousing about it and complaining about everything, it didn't have weird warp like endless
fungus?
Internal like turbolifts. Like it has realistic. I told you we were walking through the corridors and I was like, oh, it's so nice to see like an actual Starfleet like interior ship in the modern era, because we haven't seen, we saw TNG, which is beautiful, like calming kind of like chill interiors but family and science. It wasn't, and you had the movie ones which are cool and everything, right? But you really haven't seen. They I guess you had the like Section 31 bridges and Discovery, but that's Discovery and it's a different time frame. It's way older, it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? And but specifically with this one, I really liked seeing the corridors and just walking through a lot of the shots and getting the feel of the ship having like real space,
right,
instead of people zipping through in weird pods, or the outside of a turbolift showing it's like an endless interior Harry Potter magic room, you know what I mean?
Or just weird like scaling.
Hashtag hate Discovery.
Yeah. Or just like weird scaling. I mean, some of those...
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I liked the Stargazer update a lot. I liked that when the fleet came in. I liked that
ships.
It was so nice to see so many different designs. And I love seeing an Akira class.
Updated Excelsior class.
We got and we got the new Stargazer, and there's several in there, so that's nice. And they're smart to do that because now they have a bunch of ships they can sell via the models. I still have a bunch of ships. I should do an unboxing this week.
I wonder if they're because they got a lot of complaints about when Riker showed up in the last one, where it's just like all the same ship.
Well, I complained about it. I'm still complaining about it. But we 100. That's what we should do. I'll get the other two ships and we'll do a video where we pull all three out and we talk about the differences.
But I think the coup de grace of this episode came at the very end, where Picard's like sitting there, and you hear behind him the dulcet tones of Mon Capitan of Q. And then what was cool about that part
was young Q,
and then he de-ages,
and he's like, "Oh, you're much older than I expected. Let me catch up."
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was sweet. And then there's just gonna be Q shenanigans.
They did a pretty good job de-aging him for that shot. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was decent.
So
he looked good. It looked computer cut out, but he actually looked solid.
I loved Q. I thought it was.
I like Q.
I like Q a lot.
He did a signing with the doctor at Mile High Comics when it was at Lakewood here once.
John Delancey.
Can you imagine the two of them sitting in that tiny ass little shop sitting there?
Like, what am I doing here?
Probably. I can't believe I didn't go.
But yeah, I thought overall, before we wrap it up, I think, my prediction going forward is, they had Earth is totalitarian, authoritarian governments and stuff, which there are definitely some out there now, and I think there's more than others, so I think it might be just like a mirror of...
Which Star Trek has always been a mirror of the current world. To some state.
And then, I do want more space action. I really hope that the Earth arc is 2 or 3 episodes, because I don't want to watch Star Trek without the stars. What's the point?
I told you though months ago that I thought that they were going to set the entire story on Earth as a way to cut costs for budget reasons.
I mean, they could, yeah. They probably will. It looks like it.
So from the season preview, my interpretation of what to expect this season is too much Earth, too much Mirror Universe, really good ships. I did like the ship. They had the shot of the shuttle coming in, and I'm like, yeah, let me see more of that. I want to just see more ships.
I agree.
I'm sorry, but if you just gave me an hour of Star Trek that was mostly ships, I would be pretty happy too. It was cool ship flying here and there. I'd be pretty happy. I like good Star Trek. I like cerebral Star Trek too. You know what I mean? But I don't like dumb Star Trek. Voyager
did that episode where they went back to 1995 or whatever. What was that one?
They did it.
That's what they
didn't. They do that it was 2 episodes and then they did it again another season.
No,
later.
They just did the one.
They had one early on though where they got stuck back in time. They're all running around to the.
That's how they got the Doctor's mobile emitter.
I'm pretty sure they went back in time to the 1990s more than once in Voyager. Well, they did the whole weird.
There was
World War II was lost one where they went back in time and it was
the Hirogen took over the holodeck and they turned it into World War II. It wasn't a time episode.
There was a time episode though where they went back in time and goofed up.
I don't know. But the one that I was referring to was they go to the the planetarium, and Tom Paris has the hots for Sarah Silverman's in that episode, and she's like, I like aliens, and he's just like,
hey.
So, but anyway, overall, I did like this episode. I think I think this season's going to be a lot different than the last one.
Yeah.
It semes like the only character...
Too much Borg, I'm sorry. Do we have to have Borg every season? With, well, we got Picard and 7, and that's big things with their characters. Their characters are more than that, you guys. But, whatever, I'm sorry, but... I don't know, the Borg ship, what'd you think of the Borg temporal ship? I thought it was kind of a cool effect when it like started pulling out and everything, but I didn't. I think it was geometric enough.
Yeah, I expect the Borg ship to be like, if it was like a pyramid, that would have been sweet. Like instead of a cube,
or even a tetrahedron or something like that.
Something,
but something clearly geometric.
Right.
You know, they could have expressed. I don't know. It's too weird shapey for me. We'll have to wait and see when the model comes out, because then we'll actually get a good look without all the weird dimensional effects.
But anyway,
did we cover all your notes?
I think I'm good.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I complained enough, probably.
I thought it was good.
I liked it. I had fun watching it with you.
Off to a better start than I think the last one. I think all the other characters' drama is behind them, except for Picard's.
After Picard became like a robot, I just kind of like was like, well, I hate Star Trek forever. So if it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, I'll probably just enjoy it all right enough.
Well, I think the only internal drama now is from Picard, where he's just kind of
I don't need
trying to discover
Picard's
himself at 9 years
internal
old.
drama. I've gotten to know Picard over the last like however many years as he is a character.
We don't need to know more.
When was he created as a character? 1987.
Yeah. And then,
so I've been aware of his character since I was 5 years old. I don't need to. I've seen him, but he's been like, there are 4 lights or whatever. I don't need cowering pussy ass Picard like whining about his mom
90 years later.
And he's not. I think I even told the other point I made to you was, I feel like as because the thing is, it's not like he's a robot and doesn't know it. He knows he's a fucking robot. Like having a robot that's like, oh, I'm too old and slow, but whatever. He can act that, but if he needs to, he should be able to like kick some ass like or an android. And I know they're like, oh, well, we made you so you're just like a normal human. Like, even
then why bother making him an
all
android?
things considered, he knows he's not a human, he's an android. He should be like gung-ho. Why is he seeking love when he's a robot? We didn't even talk about that. Why is he trying to sleep with this Romulan woman when he's a robot that is actually like a golem of a dead human?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's weird. It's real. That's weirder to me than it was earlier. It is weirder now than it was previously. I'm thinking about a robot, an old robot,
90-year-old
golem robot trying to sleep with a much younger Romulan woman. I don't know. All right, I'm sorry. I know we're trying to wrap this up, but it's really making me mad.
Have to see their.
Right. You were like, "What's the point of this story?" And I was like, "I don't think we're gonna come back to it. Maybe at the end of the season we'll show that she's not there, or maybe they'll show that she is there." And guess what? Nobody's gonna give a shit anyway because it's not Crusher and it's not Vosh. We didn't even talk about Vosh. We both like Vosh.
Vosh is awesome.
We get like he couldn't be with Crusher because like they're totally like officers together, and it's like totally not like appropriate. It would have been cool.
Smokes on the bridge, so like
everybody would have liked to see Crusher and Picard, and of course we know from all good things it was a possibility. You know what I mean? But like we said too, Vosh is like Picard's like Catwoman. She's like a little. He shouldn't like her, but he does like her, and
the one that got away.
She just like was like, I'm out of here. She's almost to me. She's like a better match. She's almost more like for Picard, like Cassidy Yates was with like Cisco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like just Cassidy Yates and Cisco actually end up pretty much together.
Yeah, but like she also was like a smuggler. So maybe it wasn't.
And a Maquis.
Yeah, so there's like some like they figured it out though.
Yeah, that's true.
Cisco's more of a lover than
He
Picard,
probably
I
pulled
guess.
some strings to like get her out of jail, but I mean,
He's
other
the
than
emissary, bro. What are you
Right.
supposed to do? I liked that they were like, "Oh, we've got a like a life form entity that can punch holes in space time. That's like asking to like join the Federation." We didn't talk about that specifically too. It's an alien asking to join the Federation. I don't really care if it's the Borg. I don't feel like they didn't really react as Starfleet should have. Like, especially like they asked Picard to become out. Why isn't Picard? I know Picard hates the Borg, but I thought he dealt with his demons with the Borg in First Contact, right? You know, and he wasn't like too weirded out by him or anything in the weird ship one. He was like, I don't like the Borg, but he was like, you know, this one he was like, you know, like
man, and also 7 of 9 went so hard. She hates the Borg.
she went like,
She was like,
and mind you, she's the one who tried to disconnect and save a lot of Borg too, like Ichab, and like she like liberated an entire sector zone. And so for her to like flip like that, I didn't really feel was like.
well, I think she hates the idea of the Borg. I don't think she hates the individual Borg because she's trying to save them too. But when they're in that,
I know you won't, but think of me what you will. But like, let's destroy. It's like we destroy one Borg ship, or it's the end of everything. Which, of course, too, I've been hearing from some of my friends, like, "Oh God, the nukes," and I'm like. You know, you can worry about it or not because there's not a lot to be done about it either way, you know. And so I'm just sitting there, and I felt she was like kind of running around
she's
going,
a little hard.
the nukes.
She's a
Yeah,
little hard on that one. But the other thing that was like another bad
Kill
Rios
it.
captain moment. How many times does he have to yell "cease fire"? Like no one is listening.
And I asked you even before he started yelling ceasefire. I said, "Does anybody on this bridge follow orders anymore?" As soon as anybody starts shooting, like that was 7's bad. Like she fucked up.
She shot first.
Yeah, and she's crazy, but she's also not a Starfleet officer, and so that's almost on Rios for allowing her on the bridge.
With a gun.
But as soon as she shot his lieutenant, who was like, "Well, someone else is shooting." No one told you to shoot, dumbass. Your court martial, and then this guy next to you is like, "Oh, I better start shooting too." And then every single one of them that kept shooting
Just unloaded.
after Rios was like, "Cease fire," because he said it like I don't know 8 or 9 times,
And by
they
that time, everyone's
kept
down.
doing it, and they're like, "Yeah," and then more were running in and doing it. And he's cease fire, and they're like, "Okay, boss." Oh,
It's a miracle none of them shot each other. The way they were just all blasting away.
right, and they're all like, they're getting stunned, but they're probably shooting kill shots at the Borg.
I thought that was super weird.
One of them got like a super. They were like, "Oh, they're just stunning him," and then it showed the one laying on the ground who's like super burned. It's like that's pretty gnarly.
Oh, remember they blew off a couple panels?
Okay,
A couple dudes flew around. Of course, none of the main characters got hit, which I thought was kind of weird.
They don't run the EPS conduits behind the important stations.
All the gunfire, like, how does anyone live through that?
I don't know.
But anyway, I thought it was
We're ready to
fun.
wrap up. I enjoyed it. I'm working on getting. I just got a new like 45-inch television. I'm working on getting 4 PlayStation VR setups, or like I already got my VR setups, so 3 PlayStation VR setups, so we can all play Star Trek Bridge Commander down here.
Nice.
That'll be fun. I've got unboxings coming up. You got any episodes in the works?
I do, but nothing really.
I had one of my buddies the other day was like, "Man, I really like watching history," and I was like, "Hey, I got a channel for you." So if you like watching history,
Everything has history.
go watch Everything Has History. The link is in the description. What else, man? We got contests going on. We do a monthly subscriber giveaway over on akaBoG. All the rules are on akabog.com. We updated that so you get actually pick your prize from an awesome prize pool with like seriously like 20 items that will continue to grow.
Nice.
I just put up a video myself tonight of called Phantom Comic Books, comics you'll never own that I do own. So check that out.
And we're gonna be doing weekly recaps of.
We're gonna watch every episode of Picard, and we're gonna come and sit down here and do a recap just like this. Which, it's freeform discussion, and it's a little. We'll see. We've talked about doing some different things, so we might adjust. But I had fun.
We have 10 episodes to work it out.
It's a discussion series.
I think this is our first.
This is a real
reaction to a series. So
yeah. Well, I tried to get you to do Lower Decks, and we watched one episode, and we were both not ready for cartoon Star Trek, and we were quite salty. And then you were like, "I'm never doing another one of those again."
We'll figure it out. Maybe.
I'm looking forward to Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited.
We'll see.
For that one.
I've heard that the initial reaction was rough, but who knows? I don't care what other people. I don't care.
Reactions.
I don't care what other people think. I want to see it. That's why I have Paramount Plus. That's why we pay to watch it, because we, even if we don't always like it, we still like Star Trek.
I don't watch Discovery.
You watched Discovery more than me, you liar. You watched it twice.
I watched it twice because I stopped watching it, and then I decided to punish myself again.
I have not watched past season 3, episode 1.
I haven't made it past season 2, and it shows that Michael Burnham is the Red Angel, and I'm like, done.
Well, her mom was the Red Angel first.
And then she was stupid.
Iron Man power suit, bro.
I'm done. I hate that show. I don't care what anyone says. It's not Star Trek. It's stupid.
And this is real Star Trek. I sent like a survey. They sent me a survey asking for my opinion of Paramount Plus the other day, and I was like, I wish you guys would give me real Star Trek instead of fake Star Trek. I'm so tired of all this fake Star Trek. I hate it. Here I am paying. I was like, I paid so I can watch Star Trek, but then I don't even watch Star Trek because I'm so mad about all the fake Star Trek. I wrote this just a dumb rant, and then it sent it out, and then like someone wrote me back today, and they're like, would you like to I can't remember what the email said. I was like, oh my god. But I don't know. Honestly, I did enjoy it.
I do enjoy it.
I enjoyed it. I would enjoy Captain Worf series a lot more, with like Captain Worf in charge of an Akira class ship with like Starfleet fighters, which I know is heresy, but see, now we're getting some weird territory there. But see, we gotta just let everybody be their own Star Trek fan, I guess. Hashtag Captain Worf. Anything else, man?
I think I'm set.
Thanks for coming over and watching some Star Trek, and I guess beaming over from the Enterprise. I always forget, and then I look at your at your screen and I remember where you're at.
I'm working the night shift on the bridge. Thought I'd clear the deck and talk about the new series. So
I need to add some lights to your bridge, dude. Some like little flashy lights would be cool, dude. I need my bridge, man. Should I do a bridge for mine?
I feel like from this perspective, I'd be at Spock's station.
Yeah. We should get you like a proper bridge seat, like a captain's chair perspective, maybe.
No, this is alright.
Let's talk. I was gonna say this was a good Star Trek discussion. I had fun.
Me too. We'll see on.
Call it there.
Yeah,
dude.
See you on episode 2.
On that note, here's to fucking cigars on Starfleet bridges, baby.
Rios.
Smoke it up. Oh wait! I know. Before we cut off, somebody buy one of our mugs. We got Star Trek mugs for sale. You can get Captain 1701's TOS Captain's Yellow mug, or you can get my TNG Captain's Red mug. They're both for sale on akaBoG.com, and if you buy a set, I think you do save like $5. So go buy a mug. It will be the first mug we've sold. Have a great day.
See ya.